All right, the sun's gone behind the big cloud up there. You know what, we could go ahead and just try to get a quick photograph in here, and we're just kind of building it slowly but surely. I got Martha kicking the light in. I've got some overexposure. Martha, what power are you on? Full, let's cut it back to half power. I'm sitting at a 250th of a second at 5.6. When I look through the viewfinder, it's telling me that I'm about a stop underexposed with the clouds covering up the sun right now. I think I'm still going to kick it up to f8. And that's going to change my power setting on Martha. Let's see what we got here. And we got something just a little bit better here anyway. We got the light coming in. Martha, can you double check that you're giving me the loop lighting pattern on her face? Okay. Kevin, I want you to always lean in for me, just like that. Bring your head back a little bit more. And we don't have any shadows. Casey's shadow isn't falling on Kevin, is it, Martha? Remember, we talked about the groom having the shadow of the bride cast on his face depending on how far he is behind the bride. Always keep that in mind, that the groom has to come forward just a little bit more if we've got the light coming in from, say, the left-hand side, so we don't get her shadow on the side of his face. Okay, and Casey, that's good. And I'm just going to take a photograph right here. And, well, we can see the light coming in here, but it's still not a pretty photograph. We still got a long way to go to make it a pretty bridal. But we do have our off-camera flash coming in. I've got the background, it's lighting up okay, but if I think the background needs to come in just a little bit brighter, I'm just going to open up the aperture just a little bit more. That means I'm going to put more light, or more of the light intensity is going to show from the off-camera flash. Martha, let me have you back up just a fraction here. Same, and she's backing up in that same line, taking the next photograph right here. I'm just zooming in for a tight shot, and that way I can just see how the lighting's hitting the subjects right here. And it looks like it's hitting them pretty well. On-camera flash might have been my issue here. Let's do it again. And I think our ratio is looking pretty good. Ratio, if you remember, is it's the density, or the density of the highlight to the shadow side here. So I think our lighting's looking pretty good, but let's take a look. We've got the sun's coming back out just as in the short while I've been talking here, and you can see we're getting some nice pretty lighting on the veil and on the back of the gown and so forth. Am I worried that that's going to be in bright sunlight? You know what? I'm not. I've done the best I can by putting the sun behind the subjects. I've got the nice gown, I got the front of the gown without any of that dappling and any of those little light speckles all over the gown. That gives me control over putting the off-camera flash to come in to give me my highlights next to the shadows for detail, depth, dimension, and color saturation we've talked about in previous videos. So there's only one more thing that I think I need to do. What I need to do is create a decent background on the scene. Now, we've talked in previous videos about, well, the famous relationship that focal length plays on the scene. So when I look at this image right here, I'm seeing just the bride and the groom there, and I'm seeing some trees around them, and I'm seeing some sky up here, all kind of spotty. Folks, it just ain't pretty. How about if I put a long lens on, rack it out, move back here pretty far here in the park, and maybe just pick up that fall foliage behind the subject? I think if I can go ahead and do that, and that way the top part of the background that we see in the image that I've just shown you with all the trees is going to completely go away, and we're just going to basically crop it right above the more dense part of the background here. And I'm really going to try to pick up all the color of the tree, of the fall foliage back there. So let me change lenses, reset the shot, see what we get.